the depths of FurnaceClans, there is a dwarf, Fortunato, who, contrary to his wishes, has been volunteered for a science project. Unbeknownst to him, his bedroom, food, and drink supplies, and even a statue made of his favorite metal of nickel, have been put into an old quarry, and the door locked behind him. His clothing swapped for steel and crossbow, thinking he was going to become the newest and best militia commander of FurnaceClans. He was convinced to change his clothing so that he would never have them rot off. His mission, though he doesn't know it yet, is to test how long it takes to make a siege operator legendary. And it begins. Hey guys, one of the things I'm doing while I'm screwing around with all sorts of things in the fort and just generally mucking about is I have locked poor Fortunato here into his own little room. The only thing he has to do is use this. Now, one of the things I am going to do here is I'm actually going to remove that from Safe and Sound. Nobody else needs to be in here, and what I'm going to do is create a new burrow. We're going to go into that. We're going to name it Catapult Tester. And for giggles, I'm going to change the symbol around. And now we're going to draw him his own burrow. Now, for this burrow, we're going to add poor Fortunato to it. Fortunato is added, and we're going to take Fortunato out of Safe and Sound, much to his chagrin. And this is part of why I don't want to go to a 40 dot whatever yet, is because I like my DF hack search functions. So we have our Catapult tester. He's locked into there. He's got his bedroom. Now, one of the things I did previously was I put in a dump zone here for food, a couple of spare rocks, and a bunch of booze. So we're going to reclaim all that, and I'm going to turn that dump off. The other thing I've got there is it's a food stockpile, so the food won't rot out. Now, one of the interesting things about catapults is Fortunato should be turned on for... Where is he? Anymore. Oh, that's right, doesn't help here. Sort by name. Where are you, Fortunato? We're down here. One of the things I did turn on for him, Siege Operator. He's 0 of 500 at this time. The date that he's going to be starting on is the 18th of Malachite, middle of summer in 1810. We're going to see how long it takes him to get the legendary. He's got no job at the moment. Not sure why. Ah, I may have found the problem. I have been leaving the civilian alert on, just in self-defense, keeping everybody in safe and sound. And I may need to put Catapult Tester into there for him to take the job. I'm going to see if that changes things here. There he goes. So he runs in here, fires the catapult, falls into the hole, and he goes and he gets his rock, and he brings it back up to reload. Now, a single shot did what for him? Fortunato, where are you? Down here. He got 30 of 500, so 10 shots gets him to 300. Roughly 16 or 17 shots, somewhere in there. Maybe 18, but let's see if loading the catapult and then shooting it makes a difference. Alright, so he's just loaded and fired his catapult. Let's see how he's doing now. Fortunato is now at 90 of 500. So loading the catapult gets you 30, firing the catapult gets you 30. That's good to know. So not as much as I was afraid of. Now you see I've got some siege operators up here, because I've been dabbling around on the surface, but they're all broken up. They can't quite decide what the heck they're doing up there, and it's a little all over the place. So this is a test to see just how fast you can train one guy locked in a room to actually man a siege engine somewhere reasonable. Now my next test is going to be how fast is a level 0 load catapult. This is going to be boring, but we'll see how this goes. So he ran off to go grab one of his other rocks. And once he gets to the center, I'll start the timer. Okay, so he had loaded as soon as he got rid of that rock, and should be showing you the stats for level 0 here on screen. One of the things I haven't done much is discuss farms. I usually just glance over them because I figure if you don't have farms, you're probably not going to follow a lot of what else I do in the single pick challenge. But I guess we should discuss them. Comment from Woob earlier was, why aren't I making the surface crops by cutting into the ground and then creating farms? The reason for that is because the biome transfers. And here, let me show you. So we'll notice here, I've got plenty of seeds for all sorts of random stuff. I actually have been picking up seeds, and when I pick up the berries and stuff like that off the trader caravans and brew them or cook them, I end up with more. When you go to build a farm, you'll notice here, need soil or mud, no mud or soil. Okay, this is indoors. The problem there is I'm over a bush. Now, one of the things I did was, if you follow my X over here, if you go upstairs, I carved out a nice hole straight down into the ground. This area, if you look on the bottom right, is outside, light, and above ground. Now, in a freezing biome, obviously, this really isn't going to work, but I just want to show you what's going on here first before I seal up the roof. Now, if we build a plot, it'll let me try and build it, and we'll just let that get built. And my farmer just got up here. Now, while he builds that out, one of the things I wanted to show you was, this is a common error, no mud soil for farm. I've seen that before on the surface, even in places I can grow crops. So that's not a particular indicator one way or another of whether you're going to be able to grow stuff. So now with the farm plot done, when I hit Q and I go into the farm, you'll see that it says no seeds available for this location. Now, just to make sure that we're not dealing with a burrow issue, it's definitely in safe and sound. This is because it's a winter biome plot. All surface seeds can be grown in all seasons, at least in 3411. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to seal up the top. Coming up here, and I'm going to build a floor over this to turn that into an indoor location with outside light. So, I'll bring it back when that gets done. So now we have our floor in place, and we'll drop down a few levels here. And you'll notice the difference here is now I'm inside light above ground. So yes, even though we floored it over, once something becomes above ground, it's permanently above ground. Now if we go in here, you'll notice that old farm still has no seeds available for this location in any season. Now, just to make sure that it's not buggy or anything like that, what we're going to do is we're going to build out another farm plot to show that it didn't matter when the farm plot was built. So once that's built, bring it right back. So this farm just got completed, and if we go in here, we still have the no seeds available. The biome will control what surface seeds you're allowed to grow, even if you dig down and cover it up. Once an area is exposed to surface, it takes on enough of that biome, as far as plants are concerned, that you're not going to be able to bring the surface crops downstairs. Now, in other biomes, such as jungles and stuff like that, where there are surface plants that you have gathered, you can drill in the same way I just did here, floor it over, and grow surface plants underground. So the inside doesn't matter. What it's got to do, the big deal is this above ground tag and the light tag. The inside outside doesn't matter. So you can safely farm in a completely turtled fortress the surface plants. You just have to be able to work with the surface long enough to seal it back up. Well, hopefully that helps. Welcome to FurnaceClans Goblins. Please proceed in an orderly fashion towards the grinder. Thank you. So I guess I should show you that the grinder isn't impenetrable. Just had a massive swarm of goblins come in. The big deal being craploads of trolls. These guys are similar to horses in how difficult they are to plow down. Somewhere in here, along all of these trolls and everything is my minecart. It's stuck bouncing off the knee of one of these guys. I'm not quite sure where it's at. It's probably up here near the top. As you can see, I got a couple of trolls that came in on the right side, so they're going to break grinder pathing. Unless my cart gets loose down here somewhere. So, the OMG is not impenetrable, apparently. Give me a large enough wave where the minecart can't get loose, or it gets jammed up, and we get stuck. So, I'm not sure where that cart is. There it goes. I think it just freed up, just so somebody could fly into the magma. So, one troll made it. See there, you can see it here on the right side. It's jammed up against that particular troll. Oh, no, not that one. Here we go. That's him. So, this troll here, Snamaz, is constantly getting whacked by the minecart. But it's not getting a lot of speed. It's shattering bones and stuff like that, but doesn't have that force it needs to really push somebody down or chuck them in the magma for me. Or to blow them into pieces. But it looks like a good majority of the group is on here. This troll just came over to start messing with me. He's opened up that hatch, but keep in mind that that opens the door here for the northern area. So they're going to start trying to... Oh, stop, restart. They're going to start pathing here, cutting the corner here, and trying to go directly up. So we've actually ended up going to reverse their paths. And hopefully that minecart can get free again. It looks like it did. Now, hopefully the minecart can keep its speed going. Let's see here. It's hard to see, especially through all the smoke and everything. I usually look down at this corner. There it is. Okay, so it got freed up again. Something to keep in mind, too. Invasions absolutely obliterate my FPS. Just obliterate it. He snuck past. That cart almost had him. So the minecart's flowing again, but it got jammed up just long enough on just enough trolls that one of these guys snuck through. Now this guy is going to be trying to break this hatch, but he's too close to actually do it. I'm not sure if there's anything I can do directly about that. We're just going to have to let this siege go through its paces. And we'll have to clean it up when we can. One other thing to notice is my migrate entry also got shattered because I wasn't able to close the lever in time. So I will bring you guys back when this thing settles out. This is going to be an interesting little brawl. But that should pretty much close it up for this episode of FurnaceClans as well. So, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. And I'll bring you in for the aftermath of this shortly. One thing I do want to mention is there'll be a supplement to this entry of FurnaceClans 39, and that will be regarding techniques to deal with clothing and cloth and stuff like that, and when you've got a bunch of stuff in bins, how to get it to free up, and how to make it do what you're trying to get it to do, get into the stockpiles, get it out of bins and stuff like that, quantum storage. So, with one troll trying to break a hatch here, and the other one standing on this one here, it looks like the LMG is going to get shut down, because I'm going to have no paths in, and we'll have to do cleanup on what's left with my military. That should be fun. But I'll bring you back for that. See you next time.